Essentially, all behavior in equines is them trying to fulfill these core needs. So everything the horse does in their life and all of the behaviors they set forth, it's them interacting with the environment around them to try and make sure that these needs are fulfilled so that they can be happy and healthy. Behavior essentially can be summarized as seeking or avoiding certain stimuli in order to fulfill their ethological needs. Saliency is relative to the state of their need. So if we imagine their needs on a spectrum like this, in the middle, we have their fulfilled or balanced need. And on one side, we have an overfulfilled need. And on the other side, we have an unfulfilled need. There are two different ways that this need status is influenced. We have external influences, and then we have internal influences. So our external influences include stimulating events, which cause increased need fulfillment, whether that goes from unfulfilled to fulfilled or from fulfilled to overfulfilled. And then we also have deprivation events, which cause decreased need fulfillment. And that's going to push them from overfulfilled to fulfilled or from fulfilled to unfulfilled. In addition to external influences, we also have behavioral influences. So behavioral influences are triggered by the status of the need, as well as they can be triggered by certain environmental factors. So we have seeking, which is typically triggered by an unfulfilled or lower fulfilled need. And that causes the animal to seek out stimulus that fulfills that need and interact with it, whether that's consuming food or scratching an itch or whatever is happening. And that's going to push them back towards fulfillment. And then we have avoidance behavior, which typically happens when we have an overfulfilled need, and that causes the equine to avoid that stimulus so that way it decreases and gets them closer to that fulfilled point. Now, typically, we see this in a really nice feedback loop where if the equine is nice and fulfilled, they're not going to go out seeking to get more and push themselves towards overfulfilled. But sometimes we can have issues like that whenever stimuli are paired together. Maybe you give them a sweet feed that's really rich in vitamin E. So even though they're fulfilled with vitamin E, because they have access to that sweet feed, which is really yummy, they might eat too much vitamin E and push themselves towards being overfulfilled. Now, in that situation, what's really happening is their desire to get the sugary, yummy sweet feed is overriding the desire to avoid vitamin E. And typically what happens is that will continue until eventually the further we go in this direction, that desire to avoid will get stronger and stronger. And so eventually the horse might go, I think I've had enough of this sweet feed because now I feel pretty gross having all that vitamin E in my system. Unless the sweet feed is salient enough that they want that sugar so much that it overrides it.
Learn anytime, anywhere with Steph K. Equestrian's Equine Behaviorology online courses at skequine.com.